Hey, folks, welcome to High School Game Day. I'm Guy Newcomb, the scoreboard guy here on the Missouri Sports Network. The Missouri Sports Network, where everyone has a home field advantage. As always, coming to you live from the Pizza Ranch studio and presented by Central Bank of the Ozarks, Shelter Insurance, Laborers Local 663, Great Southern Bank, and Chevy of the Ozarks. Before I bring on our special guest today, we'll talk a little bit about pizza.
After a long day, a few simple words can make everything better.
Pizza's here!
To end your day the right way, count on the carry-out and delivery experts at your local Pizza Ranch.
And we're back, and now we bring in our special guest from Maryville, Missouri. In his 11th year as the head coach of the Spoof Hounds. Got to sit down and have lunch with this gentleman here a couple of weeks ago. But welcome to the show, the head coach of Maryville, Matt Webb. Coach Webb, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Guy. It's an exciting time of year, and always appreciate the opportunity to talk about our school.
Coach, coming off a 7-5 a year ago district championship. Now you've played in over the last decade that you've been there. You've played in 5 state championship games. You've won a couple of state titles. Talk about last year's team and a very challenging schedule as you started off at a very similar schedule this year.
Yeah, it is. It was, where we're located in northwest corner of the state, and finding games is right now and is a current thing. And we went through our schedule and getting teams to play us and finding locations. When you talk about area schools, we usually hover anywhere between class 3 and class 2 from an enrollment size, and finding games is sometimes a difficult thing in today's athletic realm. And we've kind of always had the mantra that we're gonna challenge our schedule and play good teams, and we've had that belief that when you play good opponents, it makes yourself better, and we've really done that. So last year we opened up. We've kind of had a tradition the last few years of opening up with Blair Oaks, and it's been a great rivalry. We've met Blair Oaks a couple times in the state semifinals years ago, and then in a state championship when they beat us, and we've kind of we're kind of two like-minded. Ted LePage and I are good friends, I guess, in the coaching world. When you say friends, we're both very competitive people, and they're always good matchups. But we like playing each other week one, and wherever we're at, class 2 or class 3, it gives you a great judge of where you're at to open the season. And then we always Harrisonville is another traditional rich team, usually a class 4 team that just south of Kansas City that we open up. We play them week 2. And then we enter our conference schedule in the MEC with the likes of the Chillicottes and the St. Piuses and Savannahs and Lafayette, St. Joe, and Benton, St. Joe. Those are our MEC schools. And then we've always had to find a week 7 game, because of an open date within our conference when Bishop LeBlond went to 8-man football a few years back. So that rotation gives us a week 7 game. And finding last year we played Lincoln College Prep, another class 4 school in that spot. And then this year we're playing Luther North out of St. Louis. So you look at our out of conference schedule, when you look at Blair Oaks, Harrisonville, and Luther North this year, it is challenging. And we try and, get that, those good opponents to make a difficult schedule and, challenge our kids each week, week in and week out. But last year, obviously 7-5, winning a district championship, losing, in the quarterfinal round to a really good Richmond team. And, again, it was one of those years I'm very proud of our seniors. We had a small group, and that leadership and the guys, they, were propelled. Sometimes, schools take district championships for granted, and when you look at that, and this is my 11th season, and the tradition we've had here where we've only not won a district championship one time in those 10 seasons is something that I know our kids, as they graduate, and those should never be taken for granted. So I'm very proud of where we finished. We ended up losing to St. Pius by 1 point, or we'd be conference champs. So you look at the value of what 1 point would be for those guys to be able to say we were conference champs. When you look back on the season, it always, kind of irks you. That was my fault as a coach. I should have gone for 2 instead of kicked the PAT. But, one of those things you look back on. But we had a really good season. Looking forward to this year.
Again, visiting with Matt Webb, the head coach at Maryville. And Coach Webb, you talk about that small senior class, coming back into this season. What are some guys that are going to have to step up and maybe take some of those spots? And what did you lose coming out of from last year due to graduation?
Well, one of the things that we talk about is tradition never graduates, and again that's kind of something within our it's on our culture, and we talk about culture is what wins games and what has winning seasons. And when tradition never graduates, that means the younger guys have a great opportunity every year to kind of step up into their new role. When no matter how many, if you graduate a large senior class or a small senior class, you have that tradition where they have some Friday night experience. They've got some lower level games and the way we practice and just the way our culture is. So each year is exciting and new because you find guys that accept those new roles. And, the guys that were sophomores now become juniors, and the freshmen become part of that, that JV group or, that sort of thing. But we've got some guys that I'm really excited about. This is a small senior class for us. There's only 8, but those 8 seniors have really just their leadership roles, the contributions they're making through the off season, and what they did as juniors and what they'll continue to do as seniors. I'm really excited about where those new faces and new names. Some of them aren't new; they're making plays as juniors, but now they're seniors. And we got a new quarterback, our Connor Drake, our quarterback from last year, graduated and is having a really good college experience up at Dakota Wesleyan. And our new quarterback is a junior, Derek Quinlan. A lot of people remember his father's name probably, and his mom. They're both employees at Northwest. Joe Quinlan's the strength coach out at Northwest Missouri State, and his mom, Kelly Quinlan, was the athletic trainer out there for many years, and has just since moved on and doing a different role. But Derek's a really good playmaker. I'm excited to see what he brings to the field. He's a very, again, in Maryville, our size school, there's a lot of multi-sport athletes that we push, and Derek's an excellent basketball player on the court and kind of a point guard distributor of the ball and can score. And we're seeing those same skills kind of go over to the football field. And there's, Cooper Lowe will be a senior running back and linebacker for us. Drew Burns is doing a really good job playing both ways again at running back and at DB for us. Caden Steckline, same thing, he'll be a senior. Again, a couple years ago, he rushed for close to 300 yards against a good Harrisonville team when we were COVID stricken with about 20 players. And so he was able to do that as a sophomore. And our line, is something we graduated a few guys, replacing 3 starters on our offensive line. But again, you look at the guys that have really stepped up. I feel really, really good about what we've got coming out, how our summer's going, our camps have gone, and this first, week and a half of practice that we're doing here. It's going to be fun to watch the new guys develop.
Coach, you come into this season, you're like you said, you're a week and a half into practice. How has that gone to this point? Has the weather affected anything? I know, just for example, right here, we're getting dumped on. It's pouring right here, and I understand you guys got some rain, but overall, everything included, how's the first 10 days gone?
It's been awesome. It's funny, usually, if I'm the world's worst coach as far as a weatherman. Like, if I think that rain is coming and we'll change and move a practice, lo and behold, the skies open up and it's a beautiful day and we should have just been outside. And then when I think, oh, there's only this chance and we're going to miss this front, so we go out to practice, well, here it comes and we get dumped on or lightning or have to. So I'm the world's worst as far as predicting, moving practices and that sort of thing to get what you need to get done. But usually this time of year, you can usually book your calendar when football practice starts. It's going to be the hottest week of the year. So but we've been fortunate this year, that the week right before last, before we could start practices, it was unbelievably hot. Heat indexes over 100 and stuff. And we've been able to, that last Monday, it kind of cooled off here in Northwest Missouri and the guys I did, I think, in most part of the state. But we've been able to have normal afternoon practices, and I'm a big believer in acclimatization to heat. It's funny when you talk to kids and we talk about summer training and, the guys that are out in the heat conditioning and working. We got a lot of guys in our community that work outside jobs and farming, construction, different things outside. And when you're acclimated to hot weather, you can, your body's used to it. The ones that sit inside and play video games all summer and stuff like that, they have trouble with it when you get out in the heat. But we've been really fortunate with heat. Our practices have gone great. We've had good tempos. The kids are listening. It's been a great week and a half so far.
Coach, you head into this week, got jamborees. Are you participating in one, and if so, where and who?
Yeah, we've always participated in one in a jamboree, and again, location wise, there's not a St. Joe kind of has a city jamboree up here with all the local St. Joe schools. So for us to participate in a jamboree, we usually got to go somewhere in Kansas City, and that's what we've done. But we've kind of changed locations. We'll be participating Friday night in a jamboree at Kansas City Center High School, and then with that, it'll be William Chrisman High School in Raytown South. And those are not, again, common opponents. We don't see those guys, and sometimes we ran into a center team in the later rounds of the playoffs, depending, like I said, depending on if we're Class 2 or Class 3. And but we really I enjoy it. It's kind of like a dress rehearsal. It's like you get to put your fancy clothes on and go down and go to a little bit of school first day of school environment type thing. And you only get a certain amount of plays, and it's like everybody gets excited about a jamboree. And so for us, we spend more time driving than we do actually playing the sport that we like to play. So it's kind of a short little burst of thing, but it is like a dress rehearsal. You get the kids excited and to play against somebody else. That's what we're looking forward to, the jamboree. It's like you've hit each other for 2 weeks at the time. Now you've had all the summer camps, you've had all the practices, and now you get go against somebody that you don't know. It's not your buddy that you're blocking every day in practice or competing against. So it's a good kind of dress rehearsal. I'm always a proponent of. I wish in jamboree you could do more special team stuff, because you look at week one. I'm worried about, are we going to be able to snap a punt and it's not going to go over the punter's head? We're going to kick a PAT. Kind of the things that I wish we could do more of that. But I understand why we don't, and it's just kind of a dress rehearsal, and you want to get out of there with no injuries and move on to week one. But jamborees are fun, and we're excited to go play against somebody else.
Again, visiting with Maryville head football coach Matt Webb. And Coach Webb, best guess, are you guys Class 2 or Class 3?
I am the world's worst predictor on that, so I'm not even going to guess today, because every year I guess I'm wrong. We'll hover. Our enrollment numbers. We were this coming year we'll be over 500 students in our school. But the way they report numbers, we've had a kind of a small class kind of rotate through, where you take, when you turn your numbers in back in the spring. But that's a large number for our high school. And the next year moving up, I think we're predicting somewhere between around 550 for a total enrollment, 9 through 12. And so I would bet my best guess, if you're going to make me on this show, which I know you guy, and I guess I'll make a guess. I'm going to guess we're Class 3, but on the lower end of Class 3. But moving forward, I think we'll fall in the Class 3 realm somewhere. It's so hard to predict that, with the private schools moving up with the championship factor, and some schools dropping down to 8-man, and it's hard to predict the schedule. And it's hard. Last year we were the only Class 2 school on our entire schedule. When it came out, I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, everything we play is Class 3 or Class 4 during the regular season, and then our district ended up being. We span the width of Missouri, down Highway 36, all the way over to Macon and Palmyra, and all the way across. So I don't know how that makes sense in Misha eyes as far as a district travel game for anybody, but evidently it did. So we'll play wherever they put us, and be there competing in the end.
You bet. Coach Webb, as always, it's been a pleasure and honor to get to visit with you, and I enjoyed meeting you guys in person at lunch, even though you've probably spent some time in Bolivar. You've got a connection here to the Bolivar area, but
yeah, my wife's from Bolivar, and my wife's family was from Bolivar. I was a graduate assistant in Southwest Baptist way back in 1997, and enjoyed Southwest Missouri. I go through there a lot. I still have. We went down to Branson last week, and I think everybody stops at Osceola for some cheese on the way back up, because the lines go out the door. So in my fridge, there's still some Osceola cheese there that I always stock up on when I'm down in that area. And certainly whenever I'm down there, one of the things I always point out, you do an excellent job in the sports, networking area down there. So good. And I'm always happy to help out and kind of spread the word what happens in Northwest Missouri. But everybody down there should be very proud of the product that you guys put out.
I really appreciate that, Coach. And we hopefully, and I know we'll talk to you as the season goes on and as it progresses, as we kind of expand here into our Friday night football scoreboard show. And we've got a Huddle Up show coming out on Wednesdays. And we're about to land the Chiefs. Players only show that we're going to play right here on the Missouri Sports Network, but kind of expanding. But you guys have been there from the beginning, and I really appreciate that and your willingness to be a part.
Thank you, Guy.
You bet. Coach Matt Webb from Maryville, and you're watching and listening to the Missouri Sports Network, where everyone has a home field advantage by Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks. Keep it right here at the Missouri Sports Network.
Step into the new when you drive a Chevy. It's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective, and find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevrolet.